Protesters from around the country came here to Capitol Hill for an anti-Iran nuclear deal protest. We spoke with some of them about their views on the Iran nuclear deal and why they came to Washington.
This deal with Iran, we want it stopped because it's going to make war over there. It's going to give Iran the nuclear bomb, and then Saudi Arabia is going to need it, and everybody else is going to need it to protect themselves, and it's just going to open up a bad situation altogether. And I can't understand for the life of me how we can go to the polls and vote these sorry dogs in and them do exactly the opposite of what we ask them to do. 70% of the people say they don't want this, and by God, they're going to do it anyway.
This deal affects us all. I'm 21 years old, and I believe President Obama is selling my generation out. He's selling us all out with this deal. It's a horrible deal. It's giving Iran basically a free pass to create as many nuclear weapons as it wants. All they have to do is explode a single nuclear weapon over this country, and we're done. It's game over.
This Iranian nuclear deal is catastrophic. It is the single greatest national security threat facing America. If it goes through, the Obama administration will become, quite literally, the world's leading financier of radical Islamic terrorism. If it goes through, over $100 billion will flow directly to Iran, to the Ayatollah Khamenei. And billions of those dollars will go directly to Hamas, to Hezbollah, to the Houthis, to radical Islamic terrorists across the world. And those jihadists will use those billions to murder Americans, to murder Israelis, to murder Europeans.
I am a Jewish Israeli American. I was born in Israel. And I'm also a child of Holocaust survivors. Both my parents survived the Holocaust. And this whole deal is bringing up feelings in me that there is just another Holocaust around the corner.
This puts the survival of humanity at stake. And we have got to shut this down in this Congress. This Congress is the last stop, not only to save Israel, but to save the nuclear non-proliferation agenda for the world and to save peace for the world. And without it, tens of millions of people, I believe, will die. And if we live the other side of it, we'll look back and say, why did we ever have a president that dealt away the security of the world for his own legacy?
The Iranians have been saying since day one that if they get a bomb, they'll use it, and their objective is to destroy the great Satan, which is us, and the little Satan, which is Israel. And they cheat on all the agreements, and they're going to self-inspect themselves on part of this, and they're not going to have any U.S. or Canadian inspectors. The more you read it, the more you learn there are side deals that we're not supposed to know about. And the idea that any American, a real patriot, could read this and say it's a good deal, let's do it, is absurd.
I've been doing deals for a long time. I've been making lots of wonderful deals, great deals. That's what I do. Never, ever, ever in my life have I seen any transaction so incompetently negotiated as our deal with Iran. And I mean never.
Okay, of course Obama's deal is insane to anyone but Iranian regime sympathizers. It's betrayal of U.S. hostages. He left them behind. It's betrayal of America. He has strengthened our enemy. The whole premise of this thing, it's wrong. We're negotiating with the braggadocious #1 state sponsor of terrorism. The blood of U.S. soldiers is on the Ayatollah's hands, and we dare shake that hand in negotiations.
You see, the federal law states that if Barack Obama failed to give every part of the Iranian agreement to this Congress, and the language actually says including side deals, if he failed to do that by July 19th, well then the sanctions stand. Case closed. We won. What we need are Republican leaders who will not be complicit with a lawless president, and we need them to go to the microphone today and tell the American people that President Barack Obama failed to deliver in the legislative short term, And therefore, the sanctions stand. End of story. Let's move on to the next event.
If they're able to make a deal to bring Sergeant Berdahl, who was a deserter, back into the U.S. and give up 5 top Taliban leaders who will return to the battlefield and sit there and say in the Rose Garden that we do not leave any American behind, regardless of what they do, and then turn around and turn their backs on innocent Americans that are sitting in an Iranian prison and leaving them behind is absolutely deplorable.
The fact that we have 4 wonderful people over there, and frankly, they're never going to come back with this group. And I will say this, if I win the presidency, I guarantee you that those 4 prisoners are back in our country before I ever take office. I guarantee that.
Hey, you guys, remember in 2012? Remember in 2012 when Joe Biden told everybody, our president, he carries a big stick. I promise, it's a big stick. Well, little did we know he was talking about Obama's selfie stick.
It's an absolutely awful deal. We got nothing out of it. We didn't even get our hostages back that they're holding. It's a horrible deal. Iran, the Ayatollah is saying today that Israel will not exist in 25 years. So what in the world are we doing?
It's not a good deal. After looking at it and reading about it, which is the common criticism of the plan, that no one's against a treaty, but they just want a good treaty or a better treaty than what's being proposed here for the American people.
I see this nation slipping away the freedoms that I have grown accustomed to.
Really was war and it is not, then let's do it on my watch.
The lying, the conniving, the plunder and deceit that's occurring.
Would you rather go to war today against Iran or give
That's why
them
I'm
time?
here.
After World War II, the world made a promise. After we saw the slaughter of innocents in World War II, we said, never again. I testify to you today that never again is now.
Congress is expected to vote on the Iran nuclear agreement this week. I'm Nicholas Balassi on Capitol Hill for PJTV.